Today we are going to discuss about entomology portion related to the head of an insect. So the insect head is hard, highly sclerotized compact capsule bearing a group of feeding appendages around the mouth, sensory organs and internally a major center of neuroendocrine coordination. First we are going to learn about head segmentation. It is absolutely impossible to recognize the segmentation of a head from its morphology in the adult condition. The embryological studies may, however, help in solving the problem. According to phylogenetic considerations, the insect head is in fact a product of evolution and can be termed as a syncephalon. It consists of two parts, an anterior procephalon and a posterior gnathocephalon. The procephalon represents preoral region of the head and bears two paired structures, the eyes and the antennae. The procephalon is thought to be derived from an ancestor head, the Achycephalon or blastocephalon, after an incorporation of at least one posterior trunk segment of the anterior. The brain is considered as a fused ganglion of the procephalon. The gnathocephalon represents postoral region of the head. It bears three pairs structures, the mandibles, first maxillae and second maxillae or labium. The gnathocephalon seems to be absolutely arthropod structure. It is mostly developed in order to equip the head with feeding appendages. Embryological and morphological studies suggest unequivocally that the gnathocephalon is composed of three segments: mandibular, maxillary, and labial segments. In an adult insect, these segments are evident from their paired appendages. The subesophageal ganglion is undoubtedly a composite ganglion of the gnathocephalon. There is no controversy about the segmentation of gnathocephalon. The segmentation of procephalon is all while a subject of dispute. In this regard, various theories have been proposed from time to time, and the discussion of this subject, due to its multifold impact, is ever interesting. First theory is actually the classical theory. This theory is mostly based on embryonic evidence such as presence of neuromers, embryonic segmental appendages, and coelomic sacs. Goodrich in 1897 proposed on the basis of embryonic evidence that the prosencephalon is formed from the anteriormost three somites along the unsegmented apical acron. These somites or metamers of prosencephalon are commonly called as the preantennal, antennal and intercalary segments respectively. First, the preantennal segment is characterized by containing protocerebral part of the brain, the first pair of cephalic coelomic sacs and limb primordia in some insects. In adult state, the segment is devoid of appendages. Then the antennal segment consists of deutocerebral part of the brain, the second pair of cephalic coelomic sacs in the embryo, and a pair of antennae as a segmental appendage. Then the intercalary segment bears tritocerebral part of the brain, the third pair of coelomic sacs in the embryo, but devoid of segmental appendages in the adult condition. It is homologous to the second antennal segment of the crustacea. This theory therefore holds that the insect head is composed of six segments, the procephalon and gnathocephalon each formed of three segments. The theory has been accepted by a large number of prominent entomologists, though they differ in nomenclature of the respective segments and in consideration of segmental appendages. According to Langston in 1881 and some other scientists, the eye stalks are the appendages of the first segment and to be named as the ocular segment, while Tykes and Manton in 1960 consider that the first segment is labral, having labrum as its appendage. There is also a third group of workers, Imus, Weber and Ramphel in Church, suggested the first segment as preantennal, one bearing no appendages, which has been universally accepted. Then two prominent insect morphologists like Snodgrass and Duporte in 1957 consider the eyes and antennae as the structures belonging to the acron and not to any head segment. Their major argument against the classical theory is that not even a single species of insect in its embryonic condition shows the presence of three distinct coelomic sacs and limb primordia and thus the validity of the theory is incompetent, deductive, and misleading to a great extent. Next theory is the labral segmental theory. Weissman reported two pre-antennal segments with two paired rudimentary sacs in the embryo of the stick insect Carotius morosus. The first of this is the labral segment with the labrum as a fused appendage, while the second one is the pre-antennal segment without appendages in the adult stage. Rohnball in 1937 and Gingren in 1947 also found two pre-antennal coelomic sacs in the embryos of locusts, Locista, and Schistocerca. All these workers concluded that the procephalon is a four-segmented structure, and ultimately the head is overall composed of 7 segments: the labral and the pre-antennal, the antennal, the intercalary or premandibular forming the procephalon, and the mandibular, the maxillary, and the labial segments forming the gnatocephalon. Then Rohnball in 1939 suggested that the protocerebrum is composed of two pairs of neuromas. One is the labral and the other pre-antennal, belonging to the labral and pre-antennal segments respectively. Then the sublingual segment theory. Some workers, mostly working on the embryonic development of the pterygote insects, noticed a pair of appendages known as the superlinguae. The hypopharynx is supposed to be formed due to fusion of the median lingua with a pair of lateral superlinguae. These superlinguae are considered as the paired appendages belonging to the superlingual segment. And some other scientists confirmed the presence of the superlingual segment in between the intercalary and mandibular segments in Pterygota Termovia domestica. According to him, the insect head is made up of 7 segments: pre-antennal, antennal, intercalary, superlingual segments constituting the procephalon, mandibular, maxillary, and labial segments representing the gnatocephalic part of the head. Then the Holmgren and Hangstrom theory. According to Holmgren and Hangstrom theory, the antennae and the eyes are belonging to the acron, and these structures cannot be accounted as the procephalic segmental appendages as suggested by earlier workers believing in their classical theory. Their theory is principally based on the skeleto-muscular and neuroanatomical systems of large number of annelids and arthropods. They believe that the proto and deuterocerebral part of the insect brain are secondarily differentiated from the antellidian brain or from the arc cerebrum. This is why they have maintained close homology between the arthropod and archicephalon and the annelid prostomium. The procephalon of insect head is therefore formed after fusion of a single postoral segment and the intercalary segment with the archicephalon or acron. And this theory is further strongly supported by some other scientists. Snodgrass and Duporte obtained their opinion that the second antennae might have been lost in the insects, and the labrum appears to be the appendage of intercalary segment. Snodgrass considered the labrum as a preoral structure, while Duporte as a part of the first somite. According to these workers, the intercalary segment is the first true segment with the tritocerebrum as its ganglion. This theory maintains that the insect head is composed of the acron and 4 segments. The segments are the intercalary segment incorporated into the prosencephalon and acron, the mandibular, maxillary, and labial segments incorporated into the gnatocephalon. And the first Henry theory. The scientist brought forward a theory of head segmentation on the basis of external morphology or the head of adult insects and annelids and the nerve interaction of cephalic region. According to Ferris, the head is composed of 6 segments. The segments are demarcated externally by the transverse sutures. The segments are termed as labral, clipial, oculoantennal, mandibular, maxillary, and labial. According to him, the intercalary segment is fantastically investigated and does not bear true identity as well as any relevant evidence. The head consists of the labral segment as the anterior most segment. There are no preoral structures. He believed that the polychaete proboscis is represented in the insect head by the first three segments and is therefore metameric as opposed to the stomodial origin. The eyes and antennae are postomial in origin. Henry asserted that a ganglion, as a rule, innervates the same segment to which it belongs. The tritocerebrum, therefore, is a ganglion of a labral segment. This theory is discarded by several workers on the plea that the head structures are merely the secondary developed and sclerotized regions or lines formed due to internal ridges. They may appear simply as the lines of weakening, allowing emergence of the succeeding insta from the old exuvia during molting. The homology made by Henry in between mammalian proboscis and preoral parts of insect head is also ruled out, as the nerve intervention is altogether different. Again, embryonic evidence do not support this theory. Next is about classification. So, apterygote orders we are going to start. There are 4 orders of primitively apterous insects. They are Thysanura, Diplura, Protura, and Columbola. They do not show distinct metamorphosis but undergo molting several times even after attaining the sexual maturity. Only Lepismidae of Thysanura among Apterygota resemble with Pterygota in some respects. So some divisions are there. Ectognatha, actually Thysanura, and Indognatha, Diplura, Protura, and Columbola. So first order, Thysanura. The Apterygote characterized by Ectognathous biting mouthparts, 11 segmented abdomen with lateral styliform pregenital segmental appendages, a pair of cerci, and a long median caudal filament. Habitat: they are mostly adapted for a concealed life in the soil, rooted wood, under stones, and the leaf deposits of forest floors, nests of ants and termites, and books, wooden furniture, kitchens, etc. Distribution: cosmopolitan, about 550 species in the world, while in India 22 species are moreover recorded. Then characters: body 1 mm to 50 mm long, spindle shaped, dorsoventrally flattened. They are primarily wingless. Apterous insects: body is covered with scales, giving metallic silvery white, grey, or brownish coloration to the body. Then head prognathous, then antennae long, filiform, and composed of more than 30 segments. Compound eyes large or reduced or even waning. Then mouth parts: ectognathous, biting chewing type, besides labrum, mandibles, maxillae, labium, and hypopharynx, and a pair of superlymphae are present. Then thorax: distinct terga are externally extended into large paranotal lobes, all of equal size and with a pair of claws. Then abdominal terminal segment bears a pair of long cerci and a medium long caudal filament. Then abdominal appendages: each abdominal segment bears a pair of styliform appendages and 1 or 2 median reversible vesicles. External genitalia: the 8th and 9th abdominal segments possess an ovipositor in female and male genitalia in male. The penis develops from the 9th segment. Alimentary canal: it is differentiated into 3 parts: foregut, midgut, and hindgut. The foregut bears gizzard, enteric cecae, and salivary glands. Nalphian tubules are well developed. The nervous system consists of a brain, subesophageal, 3 thoracic, and 8 abdominal ganglia. The tracheal system is primitive. Dorsal blood vessel differentiated into an anterior short aorta and posterior long head consisting 11 pairs of dorsally situated osteoles. Reproductive system: the ovaries are panoistic type, while testes are composed of a group of multifollicular lobes. Ecdysis: molt occurs repeatedly even after sexual maturity is attained. And classification: order Thysanura is divided into 2 suborders: Microcorphia and Zygentoma. The former consists mainly the superfamily Myceloidea and the family Mycelidae, while the latter is mostly represented by the superfamily Lepismatoidea and the family Lepismatidae. The common representatives are Myculus, Neum, Myculus, Lepisma, Thermobia, etc. Then second order, Diplura or Aptera, the minute flattened Apterygota consisting Indognathous biting mouthparts, unsegmented tarsi, abdominal segments with paired lateral pregenital styliform appendages with a pair of cerci of variable Form but without compound eyes, ocilli, median terminal filament, and malpighian tubules. Habitat concealed conditions under stones, wood, among fallen leaves, or in soil. Then a distribution cosmopolitan, about 600 species in wild and 11 species in India. Characters: they are primarily soft bodied, unpigmented, wingless, that means septerous, small insects, and maximum they measure about 50 mm in length. Then head: prognathous, oval or quadrangular in shape. Clypeus and labrum are well distinct. Antennae: long, many segmented, setaceous, provided with intrinsic muscles. Then mouthparts: biting, chewing type, but reduced and sunk into head cavity. Mandibles are elongated, dentate, and apically serrated, monocondylic type. Maxillary and labial palps are reduced into a single segment. Hypopharynx, superlingual, and abdominal plates are distinct. Compound eyes and ocelli absent. Which one? Diplura. Okay. Then thorax, three segmented. Prothorax is smallest one. Thorax sterna are subdivided by transverse suture. Legs with one segmented tarsi and two pretarsal claws. Then abdomen, 11 segmented, first or second to 7 pregenital abdominal segments with lateral styliform appendages and some segments with paired irreversible vesicles except in some orders. And then cephalic glands, head bears some pincers, exocrine, buccal, and labial or excretory glands. Malpighian tubules are represented by small papillae except some species. Then nerve system, central, stomatogastric, and retrocerebral complex.